I'm excited to finish up what I was talking about last time, about the 4 words that the Lord gave me in my quiet time several years ago that have greatly impacted each season of my life since then. And they've even become the pillars that we use in our church, the foundational pillars that we use in our church, that if it doesn't fit in one of these 4 categories, is it really worth investing our time in? Is it really worth investing our energy or our finances or whatever in? Last time I talked to you about the word simplicity and authenticity. Simplicity is simply this: choosing to focus on what really matters to us in the vision of our life. Removing clutter physically, emotionally, and spiritually to make room for what's important. And then authenticity is this: choosing to live out the kingdom life that we were created to live. Taking great joy in helping other people find and begin to walk in their personal God-given purpose as well. Today, I want to talk to you about the next 2 words. And the 3rd word that the Lord gave me in that time in my quiet time that morning was the word community. So simplicity, authenticity, and community. And here's what I wrote down as my definition of what that means with simplicity and authenticity. Choosing to invest ourselves into relationships with others. Everything is a choice. If you're noticing my verbiage, everything is a choice. We understand the importance of connecting and doing life together with no fear of rejection or competition. Let me stop right there and say this. When you simplify your life, you are making a choice to surround yourself with what makes you happy, what really brings you peace, what gives you the most productivity in your life, and a space where you can create, or a space where you can live your life without hindrances. And it leads you straight into being authentically you. You don't have to try to be like other people. You're not walking down somebody else's path. And even though we're respectful of other people's counsel and other people's investment in our lives, there is a place where you have to get to that's just you and the Lord, and decide, this is who I am, these are my values, this is the core of who I am, this is my DNA, spiritually and mentally and emotionally, and I'm ready to go, and I cannot allow other things to really pull me back. But as you are walking out that authenticity in your life, what happens is it leads you into a place of community with other people. We have to be really careful not to use simplicity as an excuse for laziness or lack of excellence. As a matter of fact, it gives room for those things. And we have to be careful not to use authenticity as a place to isolate ourselves and to say, I don't need anybody else, this is who I'm going to be. Because that is an unhealthy place to live as well. So simplicity, authenticity, and it leads you straight into community. Well, what happens in community oftentimes is we get into these circles, whether it's at church or at work or at school or whatever, and you hear the words thrown around, cliques or they're elitist or whatever, and people kind of find themselves drawn into these places and then rejected by some groups. And the truth is this: community is about building a life together. People are worth investing in. I'm trying to think, I think it was Oral Roberts who said that if you get to the end of your life and you have 3 or 4 really great friends, you are a blessed person. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't build community with more than 3 or 4 people. But what it does mean is that relationships are worth investing in. People are worth investing in. We need one another. We were not built or created to do this life alone. Even when God created Eve, the reason he created her, we hear in Genesis, is God saying it's not good that man be alone. We named our church Tribe Church for this reason, not because it's a catchphrase and everybody's got t-shirts and whatever else that says that word, but because we were listening to a prophetic message one day by Chris Valentin, and he said, everybody needs a community, everybody needs a tribe. And when he said that, it just exploded on the inside of us. Building community and building a life with people is a part of how we are even physically created in order to do things together. I remember being pregnant with my girls, and I'm a big person that moves furniture around, and it would frustrate me so bad that I couldn't do it by myself when I couldn't pick something up and move it because it wasn't healthy for me to do as a pregnant person, and I would have to wait for Mark to get home. But the cool thing was this, is he got to be involved in creating our house, and I would say, put this there, put this there. And he would say, what about this? And sometimes his ideas were actually better than mine. And what began to happen is we began to create a home together. It wasn't just me doing this part and him doing that part. That's what community starts to do. And when you are in true community and you are truly authentically yourself, you can celebrate other people. When you celebrate other people, you are saying, I refuse to be in competition with you. See, I've got lots of pastor wife friends, and I've got lots of friends who have YouTube channels or Facebook groups or ministries or they're worship leaders or whatever. And I like to surround myself with people who choose to celebrate what I'm doing, and I celebrate what they're doing instead of competing against one another. When you find yourself going, that's not fair, or that's not right, or why can't I have that? You need to step back and get back to that place of authenticity in you. When you do that, you are in such a healthy place to begin to build community. Now, I know that you have to learn to trust people and people have to learn to trust you, but when that is done, and unfortunately, I think the reason is because we live in a society where there's always another shoe that's going to drop in relationships. How about we be the generation that changes all of that? How about we are the generation that decides to put away a spirit of competition and instead really focus on our kingdom purpose? That leads me straight into the fourth and final word, and that's this word, sustainability. And this is the definition that I wrote down for sustainability. Choosing to see our purpose as eternal, not temporary. We live, we love, and we lead with the future in mind. We believe in the vision that God has for our lives, and He wants to bless the whole earth through what He has created in us, including generations to come. See, when you build community, you're saying this isn't all about me. When you are authentically who you're supposed to be, you're saying, I know that I'm a part of something bigger and I've got to do my part. The world is waiting on it. But it takes simplifying some things in order to do that. Every single word, simplicity, authenticity, community, leads straight to this final word, sustainability. Is what you're building going to last? That's the question you really have to ask yourself. Is what you're doing, what you're investing in, what you're pouring your money, your energy, your time into, is it going to last? See, I don't want to do something that is just faddish. I love to shop. I know a lot of you like to shop. And so I will buy jeans that are ripped, and I'll buy crop pants, and I'll buy cute shoes and everything like that. But I'm really careful not to invest a lot of money into super trendy pieces, because in a summer or two or in a winter or two, that's gone. They don't matter anymore. And if you've spent hundreds of dollars on one piece that didn't really matter, that's out of style in a year, what have you really done? You've wasted something. See, what we learn about the Lord is this, is that He's extravagant in everything that He does. He wants there to be excellence in your life. He wants there to be a community in your life. He wants you to be authentically you. He wants to bless you over and above. But He wastes nothing. And when we really look at the sustainability of something in our life and what we're building, we have to ask ourselves, is there waste around this? Or is this something that's going to last into future generations? The Word tells us this, that a curse or a sinful thing in a generation can go all the way up and can affect all the way up to the fourth generation. But the righteous and what they do, what they invest themselves in, and the blessing that's on their life goes all the way to the 1,000th generation. That's the kind of person that I want to be. I want things that don't matter to no longer be around. I want to be who God created me to be. I hope you're not 43 when you figure this out. I hope you're watching this and you're 17 years old or 25 years old, and you decide, today I'm going to simplify. Today I'm going to be authentically who I am. I'm going to start that journey. Today, I'm going to build community with people that I can celebrate and that want to celebrate me, and that we're on the same path, even if we're not going to the same destination. And when you do that, you are building something that'll last from generation to generation to generation. And that's what a kingdom life is really all about.